Alright folks, welcome back to another Budget Gem or Budget Bust. Today, I have got a little bit of a Christmas present for you. I have got the many times requested over Brutal Sounds BS5.1 here, 4 amp dyno. Oh yes. A lot of you remember the BS2.1 that I had done a dyno test on a little over a year ago, and I've been getting requests for this amp ever since. And since it's Christmas, why not? Let's throw it on the dyno. Let's see exactly what we are going to get. These amps are made by Zenon over in Korea. This one doesn't share a board with some of the other Zenon models that I've tested before, like the Wolfram W4500. A lot of people assume that it'd be the same, but just holding this in my hand, going around it so far, the time I've had with it, I can tell you, not the same amp. Doesn't mean that one is better than the other. It just means you can just visually see and feel a little bit of a difference. These are not really budget amps. They are more of a, let's just call it high value amp. These retail for about $799. And yeah, for a 5K, that is still aggressively priced, but not, unreal, stupid numbers like you see with some of the Brazilian amps out there, but still good value, especially for a Korean 5K. Again, if this was like a Sundown, this is probably like at least $1,000. So we're going to jump into it here. We're going to quickly walk around the amp, see some of the features here. We're going to take a look at the guts, then we're going to strap it up to the amp dyno, and we're going to see just how much power this $799 5K amp actually produces. So let's just jump right on into it. Along this side of the amplifier, we find our dual power and ground input terminals, as well as our remote input. These are, of course, dual 1/0 gauge inputs, which you really are going to need at least 1/0 gauge to supply a 5,000 watt amplifier. Remember, you're going to have over 500 amps of 12 volt or 14 volt current coming into this, so you really need the wire to get it in there. Along this side of the amplifier, we find all of our settings, as well as our RCA input terminals, as well as our master and slave input-output terminal, and of course our speaker output terminals as well. Brutal Sounds didn't skimp on the connectors. These are, of course, the Tiffany style, which are a nice, high-quality connector. Of course, you do have your gain, your subsonic filter, both definitely needed. I really don't care about the bass boost or the frequency of the boost, but if you are going to use it and you want to select a frequency, you can adjust that from 30 Hertz to 90 Hertz. I don't know why you'd ever adjust a bass boost at 90 Hertz, but hey, it's there. Those wacky Koreans will do what they do. You have a low pass filter from 250 Hertz down to 35 Hertz, as well as a phase shift available from 0 to 10 degrees. And I really don't even see why they needed to do this. There is a master and slave button there, which seems pretty pointless since you're going to have a master and slave input and output here. I don't know if you can additionally link these or not. I haven't really gone through the manual to find out, but that's for someone else to do. There is no clip indicator, which I wish it did have versus this bass boost shit. But that would have been nice. The only thing is, on Korean amps, one of the things that you can tell, you can always hear if these amps start clipping, because they start buzzing at that point. So not that it's about to blow up or anything, but it's almost like it's kind of audible. Other thing I wish they did is I wish that either of these were bigger speaker output terminals. I mean, these, I barely was able to squeeze 10 gauge in there. I know you can probably, with a wire for rule, get 8 gauge in there easily. But I mean, if you're going to be doing 5,000 watts going out, I'd love to have an 8 gauge option available to me, especially when I'm going to be wiring up multiple subwoofers, or at least make this a summed mono output with another set of speaker outputs there as well. But there is limited real estate, so I mean, you get what you get with this. Still not bad. All right, checking out these guts. And yeah, this is an impressive looking board. I mean, holy cow. This is what you want to see in a 5,000 watt amplifier gut shot. You don't want one of these, empty shell BS Planet Audio 5K looking boards. This is what you want to see. Rows of transformers and and caps that just make the thing look just absolutely mean as soon as you pop the bottom plate off. It's got a nice fan in here for keeping the output section cool. I mean, the caps here are 200 volt caps, 680 microfarad. These up front here are only 25 volt, 3300 microfarad. So, I mean, this is just solid work on the part of Xenon. For those of you keeping track at home, here's what the amp is rated for. We got 1300 watts by 1 at 4 ohms, 2600 watts by 1 at 2 ohms, and 5100 watts at 1 ohm. Only thing I'm not quite clear on is if that's at 1% THD or not. Reason why I say, because it does have a THD number here, but it's rated at 4 ohms, 100 hertz, and it's 1% THD at that number. So what will it actually be at 1 ohm? We don't know until we strap it up. And I think it's time that we do that. Okay, since we didn't do a boxing, some of you might be wondering at home, does this amp come with a bass knob? Yes, it does come with a standard, typical Xenon Special all-metal bass knob. These are typical, what you would normally find with a Xenon, so it's very stock. It is metal, but there's no clip indication or anything like that on the amp or on the remote bass knob. So, it's time to end the mystery. Let's pop this on the amp dyno and let's just see how much power this amp actually produces. All right, you just saw the numbers, and this amp performed awesome. So, is it a gem? Is it a bust? Let's just get that right off the bat. This amp is 100% a gem. As you saw, I mean, we got well over 5,000 watts, both certified, mid 5,000 range, uncertified. I think that was even in the 13s for voltage as well. So, I mean, if you can somehow hold 14.4 with this, I mean, if you're running a lithium bank and some strong alternators, you could potentially see 6,000 uncertified. Granted, that is on a static load like the amp dyno, so I don't want to hear any of you people out there going, oh, well, that's not what you'll clamp with subwoofers, and you got to wire to the dirt and blah, blah, blah. I get it, man. That's not how amps are rated, okay? We test amps based on, does it live up to how the manufacturer rates them, and you have to use dummy loads in order to do that. So get over it, okay? Keep being a fucking internet nerd and, you know, cry about it to mama that that's not what it clamped on the fucking dyno or on the term lab. So sorry, deal with it. All right, but we did that dynamically. I mean, shit, we got well over 7,000 watts at 0.8 ohms. Again, super solid numbers out of this amp. It hit its numbers easily at 4 ohms and 2 ohms. So that's exactly what you would want, exactly what you expect from an amplifier that looks like this. So very nice job to the guys down in Louisiana at Brutal Sounds for bringing this to us, especially at an aggressive price point. Really happy I got a chance to test this one out. And that's all for me. Merry Christmas, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you don't, I don't know, go be Scrooge somewhere else. Have a good one, folks.